Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Can you say anything on this, or do you have a time delay?
No, there's no, well, we're on tape, but, man, nobody ever really cuts anything out.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for that. Do you have anything to say about that, sir? Do you need more time? Not at all. Yes, not at all. No way, we're on tape. But man, no one ever really cuts things out. She has changed styles in singing, been a pop culture star, and been a leader who has outlived almost all of her peers, and she has never bit her tongue. But this was different. In a recent no-holds-barred appearance on the original show, Cher did something that not many legends ever do. This surprised both fans and people who work in the music business. She told me names. No strange tweets. There is no hidden shade. She only works with 5 artists, and some of them are huge stars. She promises she will never work with them again. She said, "I have worked with the best. I've been through the worst. Also, honey, I'm allowed to say enough." The list wasn't small. It wasn't just a clickbait. It was about them. Each name had a story of betrayal, disdain, or outright dismissal behind it. These stories were what made Cher's image, not her glitter, wigs, or auto-tune. A number of names were expected. Who else? That's very strange. Fans were shocked when one artist said he was working with other artists as well. She used to love him very much. It got better in the pop scene. People who believed and people who didn't became enemies on social media. Critics liked her because she was honest. Some people said she was bringing up old grudges, but Cher didn't back down. She said, "I'm not tearing down bridges. I'm just telling the truth. Because this is more than just music. You can bet that the whole business feels the heat when Cher tells the truth. It has to do with respect." One Gene Simmons, the rock star who fired her. "I felt like an extra to him. They didn't seem like they would get together." And Gene Simmons, the leather-clad face of Kiss. Cher, the glam goddess of new ideas. When they started going out together in the late 1970s, it was a big deal in their culture. In public, 2 stars from different worlds fight. What's going on behind the scenes? It wasn't a rock love story. Being honest about something. It might work for a year if you try to force something on people. It might last 6 months. Cher was honest when she said, "He treated me like arm candy. I'm not a partner or an equal. I'm just an eyeliner toy." She says it started in a quiet way. At first Gene was polite and kind. She was the only real woman in Hollywood, he said. However, as their relationship grew, so did the dislike. Cher says he made fun of her TV background, didn't think she could sing well, and supposedly told Rolling Stone she wasn't a real rocker, but was good at looking like one. Things got worse when they talked about going on tour together. When we were practicing, he would tell the sound guy to dim the lights. He would half laugh and say, "She's just the opening act." Cher didn't laugh. Not the first time. It's not the 4th time. Gene is said to have told her to wear more leather and less feathers, if she wanted to be taken seriously. The last straw was a private show where Cher, who had just come back from the disco era, was going to play a solo song. It is said that Gene told the organizer that she wasn't the main act, not more than 2 songs. "That's when I knew," Cher said. "I wasn't his singing partner. I was his partner." A few weeks later they broke up. When asked if she would ever work on a project with Simmons again, her answer was very clear. He had his chance, but he missed it because of his ego and a pair of platform boots. 2. His sister turned cold, and her name is Tina Turner. "We worked together to build it, but she took it all. It was meant to be a powerhouse pair of 2 survivors, 2 icons, 2 women who came out of the shadows to build their own businesses. They were meant to work together like an engine." The time when Cher and Tina Turner worked together in the late 1980s was remembered as historic by both fans and reviewers. The work together included a single song and a short tour of some European countries. The name of the song they sang together was Shame, Shame, Shame. "I'll Do the First Part of This Song" was a show that was honest, open, and full of attitude. What was meant to be a celebration of sisterhood, on the other hand, turned out to be one of Cher's coldest betrayals ever. Cher said that "We were a good match. We got that song just right in one take. We had fun and danced. It was like I had found a sister from another mother, but the cracks showed up very quickly. They were meant to work together to be very strong. 2 survivors, 2 icons, 2 women who came out of the shadows ruled by men, and built their own businesses. Fans and critics alike thought it was historic when Cher and Tina Turner worked together on a one-off song and a short European tour in the late 1980s. Shame, Shame, Shame. Their duet was fiery, gut-wrenching, emotional, and full of attitude. But what was meant to be a celebration of friendship turned into one of Cher's worst betrayals ever very quickly. Cher said, "We had chemistry. We had fun, danced, and got the song right in one take. I thought I had found a sister in arms, but the cracks showed up quickly." Cher remembers that Tina's team slowly changed the story, with press releases calling it Tina's single with Cher on it. Even though the song was sold as a 55th joint, Tina started to be the only one on magazine covers. Photo shoots cut Cher out in strange ways. Cher says that she was treated like a backup singer when the training for the joint stage shows started. During sound check, she wouldn't look me in the eye. It looked like I didn't exist without the cameras. The Grammys were the turning point of everything. They were both up for awards that year for different things, but their duo got a lot of attention. Cher came up dressed in all her glittery best, ready for a comeback show. Backstage, Tina allegedly wouldn't talk to her. As she walked by, I stood in the wings and felt like I was just another helper. She didn't say hello, thank you. She didn't say anything. Tina won the night in the end. She didn't thank Cher in her acceptance speech, but she did thank her team, her band, and her boss. It hit me as I stood there that she had taken me away from everything we had made. Cher's tour was over. She did the rest of their advertising work, but that was the last time they talked. She has always been polite in public. She respected Tina's bravery, skill, and strength, but when asked now if she had ever thought about making things right, Cher said, "I don't hold grudges. But I'll never forget being taken out of my own art. That's not a sister, that is an enemy with a nice grin." 3. Adam Lambert, the pop star who used her. Afterwards he erased my name. People said that Adam Lambert's voice, style, and confidence on stage were on par with the best. When he made his appearance after American Idol, "This girl will make him feel better. I'll show him how good he can be." Which person was one of his first big fans? Cher. When I saw him I thought, there's something there. He's brave. He is unique. People were scared of me in the 1970s, because he reminds me of that. Cher did more than just look at her from afar. She called out, gave him support, and even went on stage during one of his shows in Las Vegas. She helped him out, talked about him in interviews, and most importantly, she opened doors behind the scenes. I called someone who helped him get his first big tour show abroad. That's clear to him. His team does too. Cher says the silence started when Adam's career took off though. She didn't get a thank you text. There is no word in the liner notes. Cher says she tried to thank Adam again, when he got his now iconic spot in front of Queen, but got nothing in return. Okay, I understand that he no longer needs me. But don't change the story, so that it sounds like I wasn't there when you were still trying to get a seat at the table. Things reached a peak when Adam was asked in a big TV interview, which living artist had had the most impact on him. He gave 5 names. Cher wasn't one of them. "I didn't want a parade," she said, "but I also didn't expect to be erased." Fans have long thought that the two would work together at some point. Cher says it's not going to happen. "He had my respect at first, but then he lost it. Sweetheart, you don't forget about your aunt." 4. The diva feud that went off the rails. Madonna. I felt like a joke to her. Cher and Madonna's split has been talked about among fans for decades. Women performers were changed by 2 women, 2 idols, and 2 societal forces. At first glance, it looked like magic. It was a cold war of sparkles and stilettos behind the scenes. I thought what she did was great. Cher once said, "She changed the game, but she acted like I was a joke." At first it looked like they both admired each other. At the beginning of the 1990s, the media pushed hard for a duo. A record producer even said that there had been some interest from both sides. But when Cher's team sent Madonna a recording of a possible song, she allegedly turned it down with just one word dated. Then there was the famous interview. In an honest interview with CBS, Cher was asked about Madonna. She laughed and said, "She is unbelievably creative and unbelievably rude. That wasn't shadow, that was unique. She used to make fun of my clothes behind the scenes at award shows. I once told someone that I made it possible for her to wear those silly hats. Before she left Catholic school, I had feathers on. The killing was done at a private dinner, celebrating women in music. Cher was going to give Madonna an award for her lifetime of work. It is said that Madonna wouldn't perform if Cher was there. They told me to make room for someone who couldn't even look me in the eyes. Cher yelled. She did step aside, and she will never forget it. Fans still want a diva piece, and a duet that would make the internet melt, but Cher says it will never happen. She didn't want to be friends with you. She wished she were the only one, and Cher is happy being in her own league. 5. Sonny Bono, the one that hurt the most. I cried in front of a lot of people. It was a surprise when Cher dropped this name. Tina was her letdown, Jean was her scandal, and Madonna was her rival. Sonny Bono was her first big break. On stage, they were electric, funny, and classic. I had nothing else to do. Have you ever been blown away by someone? I remember Meryl from the time I met her. I really wish I had the same friends as Marge Street. Not hard. A lot of people didn't know that behind the hit songs and matching outfits was a relationship that was much more controlling than cooperative. Cher said, "He gave me my start. After that he tried to keep me at the starting line the whole time he ran." She talks about the papers she signed, but didn't know she did. She wasn't in charge of the money. Things were chosen without her. But she can't get rid of one memory, a show in Las Vegas, in the mid-1970s. It was amazing to see Cher act by herself. The crowd was still standing when Sonny came back on stage, and made fun of her weight in front of hundreds of people. He told her, "Well, you sing well, don't eat so many cakes." Everyone laughed. I smiled, but I was broken inside. She cried behind the scenes, but the loud cheers in the theater drowned out her sobs. My trust in stages was broken after that. They finally went their separate ways, both in their personal and professional lives. Cher was kind to him in public after he died, but she will never forget how it felt to be let down by the man who had helped her. I had to forget how to be quiet, after he taught me how to stay alive. As soon as Cher's conversation became public, the internet went crazy. Hashtags like #HashIt, #KeOn'sTruth, and #NeverAgate. Tour became famous around the world in a matter of minutes. People liked how honest she was on Twitter, while others tried to protect the stars she would talk about. People on TikTok read her comments out loud in a dramatic way over slow-motion video from Moonstruck. A lot of famous people spoke out. A tweet from Pink said, "It takes guts to say something most people only whisper. That tea from Madonna." "This was really hot," Doja Cat said, adding a fire emoji and a gif of Cher flicking her hair. One day 50,000 people liked the Reddit thread called Cher's Burn Book and Why She Is Right. Some people were shocked by the Tina Turner story. Others were crushed when they learned the truth about Sonny. But what pattern do most fan responses follow? "Thanks. She's not angry. It's over for her to defend those who didn't support her." A lot of younger fans, especially women who work in artistic fields, saw Cher's confessions as a way to talk about being ignored, used, or left out. At the same time, older supporters supported her even more strongly. One person wrote that she was there before Madonna, MTV and Image took the place of soul. "She's won the right to say whatever the hell she wants." As an honor, radio stations even played Believe in If I Could Turn Back Time on Cher Appreciation Day. The answer that might tell you the most. Every site has a new hot phrase, and Cher doesn't cancel. The chapter is over. No one doubts that Cher doesn't lie. Not with her face, not with her voice, and definitely not with her words. Her admissions were not small things. They were more than just news stories. It took decades to figure them out. In case you forgot, even the most popular people, the ones who are dripping in diamonds and Grammys, have scars that shine just as brightly. Cher said, "People think I'm tough because I've made it through the business, but I'm strong, because I won't let it erase me." That's what this was about. There should be limits, not anger or revenge. The man who told her to be quiet on stage, the woman who stole the show, and the music star whose name made her famous. Her opponent threw her out. Her partner made her feel little. What she's not after is revenge. No, she is not asking for an apology. She's just saying, "I remember. I'll no longer act like I don't." Cher is one of a kind in a business that is always trying to remake itself. She has never had to change into someone else in order to live. It was just time for her. Now is the time to talk. It's time to get better. It's time to be honest. She said, "I'm not mad. I'm free." And that might be the most convincing thing she said. Since Cher doesn't like to burn bridges, she walks away from them with her heels raised and her story still whole.